What's up, everyone? In today's show, we have Gilad Freimann from VAA Philippines, which they specialize in bringing amazing VAs to Amazon sellers, so they don't have to deal with finding great VAs or locate them or maintaining them. And I want to introduce Gilad. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, Tomer. So thanks for having me, first of all, and I'm happy to be here. And yeah, you're right. My name is Gilad Freimann, and I'm the founder and the CEO of VAA Philippines. VA stands for Virtual Assistant Academy. So it's a major thing of what we do. We specialize in filtering virtual assistants from the Philippines and then training them specifically on Amazon so they could help Amazon sellers in their everyday work. This is really what we do.
Okay. And for how long are you guys doing it?
We've been doing it since 2017, so a little bit more than 4 years now. It all started, because we needed this, me and my wife. When I say we, it's me and my wife. We were in this business together. So we needed VAs for our own, purposes of, as Amazon sellers. And actually VAA started once we've decided to use the knowledge that we gained from working with VAs to create this company.
Mm-hmm. That sounds really cool. And this is something that I'm going to steal from Yoni from Getida. I saw his podcast, and he's like starting the podcast being interested in the guest, knowing more about them. And I think that that's something that is important. And I'm going to steal this from him. But why don't you share your journey, how you got into this, how you got even into to sell on Amazon, what you did before, just so the viewers could learn more about you and feel it.
I was actually a ski instructor working for a skiing company before that. This is how I met my wife. We were both working in the same company of tourism, sending Israelis from Israel to ski all over Europe. And I was based in France. I lived over there for several years. She was in Israel, and we communicated for many years, without really meeting each other. And then we met and we hooked up. And it was then that we decided to move back to Israel. And I think it was that changed my way of the perspective. Instead of skiing every day, having fun, it was already to move on to the next level, and then thinking, okay, is this really what I want to do for life? Am I going to continue to be an employee? And this is where we realized that we both want something else for ourselves, and we just had to figure out how we're going to do it. And she was the first one to resign from the company. She started looking her way out, and for both of us, actually, discovered in e-commerce, started selling on eBay, on Etsy, and we were looking for our way. And then we discovered Amazon, and this is how we knew that this is what we want to do. And the question was like, when can we take the next step so I could leave the company and be all in for Amazon.
Nice. So while you were living in France, you were still working for that tourism company, like selling packages for people who want to ski, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, it started when we already returned to Israel, and I went every day to the office, which I realized that this is not what I want to do. Every day going to the office, working for somebody else, and so it was no longer ski. It was no longer like excitement. It was really like an everyday work of an employee. And yeah, we realized that we want to become our own bosses. And once we did a course on Amazon on private label. It was 2015. And we started to see sales coming in, and we didn't want to wait a lot of time. We knew that this is what we want to do, and then we took a risk, and I quit my job, even though we could not really afford really going full time into Amazon yet. It was really like just the beginning, but we understood that if I want it to succeed, then I have to be all in. I already tried before creating my own company while working with as an employee, and it did not work. I realized that if I want to do something, I have to be all in. I cannot jiggle with both options. So this is why I quit, and we were both on our way.
Yeah, that's amazing. I see that this is a common thing, that commitment, people that, like yourself, you just quit the job because you wanted to be 100% committed and you just didn't have any other options. You knew that you have to make it or you don't have any job, right? So
Yeah, I realized that, and like I said, it's because I tried the other option before and I failed, and I understood that one of the reasons I failed was not because of the idea. The idea could have been great, at least at the time. I was videoing people while skiing and creating and editing the videos and selling them, an edited video of their skiing. It was before they actually had all these cameras, and all that. So I was skiing with a stabilizer. It was great, and the reason it failed was not the idea. The reason it fell, it was because I was not committed to it, and I always knew, okay, it's not going to work out, then worst case I can always continue to work as an employee. And I just didn't want to reach that situation again, and I realized the only way to actually do it is when we have the back to the wall, and you just go and see what happens.
yeah, yeah. So you were like committing to being an Amazon seller, and how would the transition or the shift from being like, I mean, you're still selling on Amazon, but where you did the shift from being focused on selling on Amazon to building this company with the VAs, virtual assistants from Philippines.
So skipping the first year of selling on Amazon, which was pretty difficult, things did not work out as planned immediately. It was profitable, and it went. The first product that we chose was really great, even from the beginning. Not huge, but great. It brought profits immediately, and we saw it's advancing. But it was not enough to support both of us, from day one. It takes time, to grow a business on Amazon, and so I had to go back to becoming an employee, not for the same company, in my own terms. I had to work, part-time shifts, working from home, trying to, but I knew that I'm not going to come back to becoming an employee. So it was just finding ways to maintain an income, in order to continue with Amazon. But after about a year, it was already enough for us to, to survive, I would say. And then it started to grow, and this is when we understood that if we want really to grow this business fast, because time was an essence, if we want to grow the business, then we have to delegate. Even if we cannot really afford everything, from day one, we have to delegate. And we understood that the best way is to find a virtual assistant. And at the time, I read a lot. I listened to podcasts, and I understood that the best way is to find somebody from the Philippines. That was I was working with VAs, before on Fiverr and Upwork, but I realized that I want to change it and work and find a VA for us from the Philippines. I We put an ad. We thought, okay, I hope that somebody would apply. Within a day, we got about 300 people applying, and they all, surprisingly, they all said that they are the best for the job. They have the experience. They have what it takes. They've been doing it forever, and they all sounded really nice. And then I had to start interviewing them, giving them tests, and it took a lot of time. It took a lot of effort, and I was sure that I'm good at it. I thought that I'm doing a very good filtering process. I found a perfect fit after interviewing maybe 40 people, and that person, we started training on Amazon. It took us another month of training her everything we knew about Amazon, and then we started working together. And about, I would say, like 2 weeks after, pretty much like a month and a half since we started working with her, she just disappeared. I woke up in the morning, sent her an email. Okay, how did it go? No response. The day after, and then you realize something is wrong, and she just disappeared. Nothing. I didn't hear from her since. And
Stop you, interrupt, and excuse me for that. But
yeah,
this is something that I feel that people that don't work a lot of time with Filipinos people don't get, or it's hard for them to understand. But for some reason, and I'm not sure what are the reasons for that, a lot of times they are not being transparent and open with you about their feelings and about what's going on in their life, and then it just come to you like from nowhere, that they either disappear or quit or you don't hear from them. And I think that just it's the culture that they don't feel comfortable like speaking out or saying what on their heart. But for us, for employers or people that hire people from the Philippines, it's you have to understand it, because it's all good and nice, and you have many benefits of working with Filipinos, but this is one downside. But once you understand this downside, in my opinion, you can really initiate more calls, ask them more questions, always understand their situation, so it doesn't come to you as a surprise. But I really want to hear from you. How do you really approach this, and what do you think? Am I right, or it's just me, or it's also you see this with, you have a big team there.
Oh, I
So
see it. I see it all. I mean, we see it a lot, and you know what? In the first scenario that I just explained, then I was blaming everything on her. You know, she's I just chose the wrong person, and she's not good enough, and I have to better, to know how to better pick them. And guess what? It happened the second time also. It didn't happen exactly the same way, but the second VA was always, giving me excuses. Hey, there is a I don't know, a typhoon here and a bad connection there, and her sister got sick, so she had to,
electricity.
yeah, electricity, all that, so and then and the day passed by and another day, and you see that she's not working. And then I realized that, what, yes, it's true what you said. They have a different culture. They're much more humble. They're much more uh, embarrassed, or they would not come to you saying, I don't want to do this and it's not for me, or they would not come with demands if they feel things are not right. Even if sometimes they feel that it's coming from you, they will feel that maybe you are not happy from them, and then they will leave. They will, they will just hide. So yeah, it's a different culture, different traditions. But you know what? In the end of the day, I was the one to blame. I did not know how to work with VAs at the time. I was looking only at at tasks and what she needs to do for me, and I wasn't really giving her the reasons to stay, not just financially, but making her a part of the business. And this is really things that it took me a long time to understand, to know how to work with VAs. And I would say that today, almost 5 years after, that's one of the things that we do best. We know how to create a community in which the VAs, they feel connected. They feel like this is their place. They don't want to leave. They want to stay with us for years. They put 2 months into just being accepted to our community, because they know that we're there for them. We care about their birthdays, and their giving them events and having reasons for them to meet up, even during COVID, with all the restrictions. So it's a family now, and these things I learned from my own mistakes.
Yep, yep, that's cool. I just now, like, I'm trying to schedule with my VAs, like, a virtual meeting. So I thought about, they have quarantine, and some of them
Yeah,
don't live close to each other. And it's I said maybe it's better that they sit together and order pizza, and I order pizza here, and we kind of have like a
we
meeting.
did this. It's great. It's great. Pizza nights are great. We order them pizzas. We open Zoom together. Everybody's eating pizzas together. We brought karaoke, and everybody on Zoom and having karaoke. It's really like and they love it. It's really their tradition is really the way that they, it shows your appreciation to them, that you care about their well-being. You care about, that they will have fun at work. It's the simple things, just what is it to order them a pizza and to open a pizza together with them, and having an evening like that. It's nothing.
Time for them, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's, for them, it means that this company is not just about, if you show them that you don't really care about them, you just care about, things getting done. So they would get the impression that, if things do not go as planned, or if your business goes down a little bit, then you don't need them. So they will feel the same to you, and they will always look for another options. They will feel, they would look for a better pay. They would look for somebody who cares more, so you have to make them feel like this is you want them to be a part of your team. And I was really not willing to give any information about the company or my plans to my VAs in the beginning. I would never say to them in the beginning, look, this is your starting rate, but after a year, it will go down in $2. It will go up in $2, for example. I would not say that. I would say for myself, I will keep my cards with me, and when I feel right, I will give them a raise. And today it's different. Today I want them to feel like I have a plan for you. If you're going to be sticking with us in the company at VAA, then after a year your rate will go to this, and then and you'll get bonuses, and we're going to visit you in the Philippines, and we're going to have events, and we're going to, we're giving them this to know that we care for them, and we see a future for them here that they could advance, and not just, what's your daily tasks, okay, you give it, great.
For sure, for sure. I am actually planning to sell the business, and I'm very transparent with my VAs, letting them know that even after that, hopefully I didn't close anything, but even after I exit, they will still have a job, because I have another brand and I have some other, or we have the Sourcing Monster channel and community we're trying to build. And I feel that that's very important, and not just letting them about their future, that they will have a job. My plan is also to reward them. So part of the money that I'm going to get from the sale will go to them. And,
Yeah,
they deserve it. They helped me build this company. They
definitely.
helped me grow it. And I 100% feel that they deserve like to get a little, piece of the pie. And that's my plans. But we continue with your story. So the second one left, you really worked on yourself, which is something that most people in life, they don't take responsibility. So this is why I mean you're successful, and you actually uh being able to grow like that, you actually blamed yourself. You took responsibility, and you actually said what I'm doing wrong, not what they are doing wrong. And I love this mindset. But yeah, continue like how it actually rolled and to where you are.
So I mean, so we started to understand that there is more than, just, find, posting an ad, and getting the names and choose one of them, and there is much more than into it. Than, you have to know how to recruit the right people, you have to know how to train them, have to know how to keep them, and all that led us to the understanding that, there is something here that we have to develop. And this is how VAA was founded. I actually started recruiting like about 30 VAs in the beginning, recruiting them and training them about Amazon, and starting to offer this service. And the level at the time was basic training, but it was enough, and it took from me from there to understand how I can make better trainings to our VAs, how we could develop the academy. And this is how VA started. We are working now with sellers all around the world who are looking to find VAs that were already vetted and filtered, and then trained specifically on Amazon, so they could help them with their everyday tasks, so they don't have to do everything themselves, from finding the best people, to training them, to maintaining a good atmosphere, to having somebody teaching them how to work with VAs, which mistakes to avoid that we did, as sellers in the beginning, and how to create their schedule, and which tools are available. This is what we're there, we're there for them, to make sure that this will work out for the long run.
Yeah, so so basically I know what it takes to hire like a good VA. I have like a process that I guess that you have guys something similar, or maybe like probably better than mine, to really get a lot of applicants and filter them in like funnel, kind of, and really choosing the best ones. And even after that, I had to really develop the skills of really working with them, being patient, and these are skills that takes a lot of time. So people like if you want to save time, definitely, and make sure that you hire people that are good, then it's a great solution. But my question to you, who are you, like your most clients, they have one or two VAs, or also big teams like of 20 or 20 or 30 VAs for one client? Do you have these type of clients too?
Yeah, we have all sorts of clients. It starts by the very small entrepreneurs, the solo entrepreneurs that are, you'll be surprised, they're just starting the business. But guess what? They're not in my position that I was, without kids, starting it all from scratch, and taking the risk. they have jobs and they have, a family and to support, and they have commitments. So they're not able to just throw everything down and commit fully to selling on Amazon. And they notice that if they want to do it, then they have to have help. They cannot sit in front of the computer 5 hours in straight, to find the good products, comparing different suppliers, doing competitor research and all that. So they need VAs from day one to actually get this ball rolling. So we have those. We have sellers that have already been selling for a year, 2 years, 3 years, have already developed a brand with several products, and they need VAs now in order to grow faster. And they have already a lot of tasks to give to their VAs. We have big sellers who have thousands of SKUs, and they need a big amount of VAs to their team. They have a team just for customer service. They have another team for PPC. They have another team for shipments and logistics. So we have those as well. And we are working a lot also with agencies that are managing several accounts, and they need the VAs, for under every team of VAs, there is a manager who works together with them. So basically, I think we cover a wide range of sellers. Each one of them has their own, understanding of why it's important to delegate, but they all understand that this is the way that, if they want to grow their business.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And what is the structure that you have in the company? I guess that maybe at the beginning you worked and managed everything, but now you're on like developing new things. Like how your day looks like. You are talking with managers. What is the structure? I'm very curious to hear about it.
So, all right. So it's a good question. I have to say that in the beginning, I always understood the power of delegating tasks. So I always try to implement that in my own business. So I could not come to sellers and say to them, look, it's not possible that you're doing everything in your business. If you want to grow, you have to delegate to VAs, and in the same time do everything on VAA. I knew from the beginning that I have to start, create a team also for VA staff. So I hired first of all a VA, to help me with the training, and which developed into a training department. So we have now a department that is only in charge of training the VAs, creating more tutorials on the go. It's not like we give them some kind of a video training from 2018 and say, okay, that's the course that we built, take it and this is your training, because otherwise it would not mean anything. What I if I implement now things that I learned on 2015 or 16 as a seller, I would be suspended within a day on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I can tell that you approached me and you actually wanted really the latest data and things that work for sellers like myself to
yeah.
really help and train your guys there, which is really shows that you want to make sure that they're on top of the game and they understand everything. So that's I can say
Yeah.
from experience that
So
that's
that's a
what
part
they
of.
do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we bring experts from from outside, and obviously we came to you as an expert, and we bring PPC experts and social media experts. So and we create our own trainings. So we have the training department. We have four big departments for sellers. We have the Amazon department, which is everything that you can think of on Seller Central, like shipment plans and customer service and feedbacks, reviews, inventory levels, creating the listings, all that. So that's the Amazon department. We have the social media department. It's more about creating brand awareness, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, a lot of work with influencers, Amazon posts. That's the social media department. We have the PPC department. No need to elaborate more. It's everything about Amazon PPC. And we have creative, which is graphic designers and video editors. Now, each department has their own department manager that we are working with. We have one senior manager who is in charge of the operation of all the different departments. And I try to spend my time more on managing, working directly with two people. One is the operational manager, who's in charge of all the departments, getting the report from them. Even though I meet every month with each department manager, and it's important for me to understand how things are going, and I get reports from them daily. And I'm also working with my senior manager. Her name is Liz. She's been with me from the beginning, 5 years now, and She was the first training manager that I hired, instead of myself doing it. And she's in charge of working with the sellers, and making sure that everything is okay, adding VAs if needed, replacing VAs, understanding why they want to replace if things do not go as planned. So making sure that we learn from our mistakes and improve every time. And I work with my wife. She's in charge of both the training and advertising, and us being on everywhere. So I work with her also. That's a show, a separate show, how to work with your wife.
To ask you, like, if I would ask you to start from scratch again, would you still work with your wife and decide to do it, or you will separate this? Because I tried in my business to do that, and
You
after a
did.
few months, I realized that's not gonna work
So
for
yeah,
me.
I think we'd
You know,
we'd still do it together. I would learn a lot from from mistakes that we did. That in the beginning we didn't know how to separate tasks. Each one has their own things to be in charge of and to develop in the business. So in the beginning, a lot of things we were doing it really together. And then once things start to grow, then when you're creating your first product on Amazon, which was a camping hammock. So it was easy. She was in charge of creating the box. I was in charge of, so it was easy. But, when you're starting to grow as a seller, and also when we started to develop VAA, then, you have to know how to work together. And if you don't, then, that's the way to do it. So I'm still, it's important for me to be with somebody that, most of my day, it's hard for me to do something that without her completely most of the day, then come back home in the evening and just discuss, to be with her for 2 hours with each one doesn't really know what the other one was doing. So for me it was important, but yes, it is very challenging also. Yes.
that's good. That's good. Nice. So, what you will feel like the best way? So, tell me more about the process of after a client comes to you and you get them like one or two VAs. What goes from there? Like, how is they communicate the seller with the VAs? Like, how it looks like day to day, like operations.
So, I mean, first of all, when somebody comes to us, they have a phone call either with me or one of the managers. I try my best to have this meeting with me still as long as I can, because it's important for me to understand what they need, to understand which type of VAs they would need, to recommend them from my experience of how many hours a day they should work with, they should hire a VA, and if this is the right move for them. Sometimes I recommend them that it's not the right move, so I tell them you're not ready to hire a VA yet. But after they have this meeting with us, then we connect them with the department manager for a deeper understanding of what they need. So let's say that they decided that they need a PPC VA. So the next step after finishing bureaucracy, they will meet the PPC department manager, and her job will be to go deeper into understanding the task, the how many products do you have, how many ASINs, how many campaigns, how does it look at the moment, and in order to recommend you what's the best way to move forward. And then once this the VA starts working with the seller, then the department manager will be in constant contact with the seller, making sure that everything is working correctly with phone calls and getting feedbacks
Sorry to
from
interrupt,
them.
but once you actually, like you said, you assign the VA. So once a new client comes in, you already have VAs that are trained for the tasks, or you actually hire them after you got the client?
No, we always have VAs available. It's true that it takes us about 2 months until we
Yeah,
finish from the beginning of the funnel, like you said, until the end of the funnel. And
yeah,
when we have our VAs, usually it leaves us with about 1 to 2% of the VAs that started the process with us. But so it takes time, but we do it constantly. We do it all the time. The recruitment department is always busy in recruiting VAs. The training department is always busy in training new VAs. So the
yeah.
idea would be that once you reach the decision that you want to start working with a VA, then theoretically you can start tomorrow morning. Usually we choose a start date that is about like a week or even up to 10 days in advance, but it's more for you than for us. So you'll have time to prepare things for the arrival of the VA with our guidance, to meet the department manager, to meet the VA herself a few days before. But yeah, we always have VAs available.
Okay. Okay. So the VA starting, and then the client communicate with them, or how it works as far as
Yeah.
like.
So after connection, the department manager will do the connection between the seller and the VA. Will always be in the background to make sure that things are working correctly, to that the VA is reporting on time, is showing up on time, and making sure if the level of training was according to the is satisfied to the seller. And once or there are any need for any improvement on specific issues, and once everything is good, then yeah, the communication is between the seller and the VA directly. They communicate either with our guidance. We are there to help them, to expose them to tools, such as Asana or Trello, Slack, all these options. Not everybody knows about them, and we're there to help with that, how to work with VAs. But in the same time, the work is really between them. We're not a part of the work itself. It's not like they have to tell us, hey, tell my VA please to do this. They're direct in direct contact, and it remains a secret between them actually.
Okay, so once like the introduction was done and they start working together, every seller could have different processes and work and things that are different. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I know that so basically the training department, it's just to train new VAs, not for the existing ones, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, there is the basic training that we give the VAs. We have the syllabus of the basic training, but the training department is also in charge of understanding always what's new, to going over all podcasts and going over different Facebook groups and understanding what people are talking about, listening, reading all the posts coming from Amazon, understanding where additional trainings are needed, and then creating these trainings, either creating them themselves, if the content is already available and is easy to understand, some updates, a small update on Amazon search terms of service, sorry, then they will just report it and make sure that all VAs are aware of it. And sometimes if it's a more deeper training, like when we came to we decided that we want to make a deeper training on accounting and how to deal with numbers, and how to do understand profits, and help the sellers with the everyday work. So we reach the training department, and my wife will reach out and get an expert in order to create these trainings. And then we're making sure that that the VAs will undergo this training. Not all VAs will undergo these extra trainings. It's actually going to come from the sellers. We announce it in our newsletters.
Okay.
We announce that, okay, we've just created a training about X or Y. If
Okay.
you're interested that your VA will undergo this training, then shout out, and we'll make sure that this your VA will undergo this training. It's a free of charge. It's a part of our service. But not all VAs need to go undergo all
Okay.
possible trainings.
Got it. Very, very interesting and beautiful system that you build there. How many
Thanks.
VAs you have right now? If I'm not wrong, it's over 200, right?
About 200, about
200.
200. Yeah, we're growing, and it reached a very nice amount of 200 VAs. We are working with approximately 120 sellers. So we have sellers that are working with several VAs, and yeah, it's actually growing.
Yeah, nice. I wish I had more time to continue discussing and hearing all these stories and about your business. I really enjoyed hearing about your story, and I'm sure the viewers too. And for those of you that looking for VAs and don't want to really master the skill, or going through like really a long curve of learning, like I did, and I work with Filipino VAs now. I think 2000, like at least over 10 years now. So it was really long learning curve. Then definitely contact Gilad. I will put his contact info below. But for those of you that want to contact you, how they can find more about you, Gilad?
Well, either contact us by email, service@vaphilippines.com, or just go visit our website, vaphilippines.com, and schedule a meeting. I will be happy, to talk to the sellers, understanding their needs, understanding, deciding together if this is the right move for them, if they're ready to delegate, and if this is the situation, then doing everything in order to make it work.
Yeah. Thank you, Gilad. It was really nice talk. I hope to see
Yeah,
you in
thanks
the
for having
future
me.
again here.
Yeah, or in Israel.
All right.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you.